For this part, we will now look at doing foundation brake inspection. Of course, we've got our demonstration unit here, so it is easier for you to understand what we are trying to highlight. Keep in mind, this is just the visual inspection portion of this. To start, we want to look at the brake chamber itself. We want to inspect to ensure that the ring clamps are securely fastened on both the service and emergency side. You want to ensure that the bolts aren't corroded. We don't have bolts that are falling out. We also want to be aware that that chamber has to be mounted onto the axle on some form of brake chamber mounting bracket. This happens to be a trailer application. On a tractor application, you may find it fastened to a different style of bracket. However, the fundamentals are still going to apply. We still want to ensure that our lock washers are in, our nuts are held captive on there, and give it a quick inspection. Make sure that everything looks like it's supposed to be there. From there, we move into our push rod itself. Looking at the push rod, we need to make sure that the jam nut for the clevis is mounted on there and that it is tight. Moving to the clevis, inspect for any kind of cracks or damage. With the clevis, we also need to look at the clevis pins. One of the important things to look at with clevis pins is the fact that they do have the ability to move and that their cotter pins are in with both of the tabs bent over. From the clevis, we move into the slack adjuster area here. Slack adjuster, now we want to ensure that the slack adjuster is in proper alignment with the clevis. We want to ensure that the snap ring or cotter pin or whatever the fastening device is they use to hold that onto the end of the S-cam is in place. Check your washers and again, visually inspect for any bent, broken, cracked, distorted pieces on that unit. From the slack adjuster, we now move into the camshaft bushings. We want to inspect those bushing holders to see if there's any cracks, look at the camshaft, get into the brake spider assembly now, and inspect for any kind of cracks or breakage in that area. Through the visible portion of the backing plate, we now want to take and inspect the brake shoe, ensuring that we've got adequate lining life left on that. You are also going to look at the visible portion of the drum for any kind of cracking, hard spotting, that kind of idea. We would also check the brake shoes for any kind of contamination from either the oil or the grease system for the wheel hubs.